Hey, what's good? I'm Kinell and this is Sinister Cinema, where we get deep into the guts of classics and new releases from horror and exploitation cinema. Back with another one for spooky season. Be sure to follow us up on the socials. That's sinister_cinema on your Twitter and sinister.cinema on your Insta. Yes, a couple of days ago, I had a look at one of these Welcome To The Blumhouse releases on Prime, The Lie, and today I'm going to have another look at another one of them there. Right, and this one is called Black Box. I was a bit confused. Some of the other, battle rap people who found my channel that way. Fucking, doesn't this poster look like fucking Daylight? The rapper Daylight. Yeah, he looks better. The guy in the film kind of looks like him. And this poster kind of like puts in mind his facial tattoo. But it turns out Daylight isn't in it. It's nothing to do with that. So without further ado, let's have a look at Black Box.
Who's there?
You need breakfast.
I'm fine.
I wasn't asking.
Nolan Wright, involved in a car accident, resulting in the death of his wife
Is there anyone else who can pick you up?
He's just running a little late today.
and severe memory loss.
If this happens again, we're gonna have to notify child services.
I believe that I can reverse your condition.
We should give it a shot, right?
Come with me, please. We call this headset the Black Box, an immersive virtual pathway to your memories. I like to begin with something I call the safe room. When you push the crown of the watch, you will be in your subconscious. Are you ready?
Rachel. What the hell was in there?
It's your brain trying to protect you from your trauma.
Did things go well with Dr. Brooks today?
I saw my wedding.
That's progress right there.
If that thing shows up again, you just say to yourself, I run my mind, it does not run me.
I run my mind, it doesn't run me. I run my mind. It doesn't run me.
Patients are often surprised by what they remember.
Did Rachel and I live in an apartment?
I don't think so.
The place was really familiar.
You're getting close. Stay with this.
Did we ever fight?
It's not what you think. You would never hurt Rachel.
What's going on?
We're close. I can sense it.
You just need to remember who you are.
I run my mind. It doesn't run me.
Aye, Black Box. This one, kind of an interesting setup. What we got here is we have a guy who has lost his wife and has amnesia and from a car accident. You know, he's got to like leave notes and shit around to remind him to do day-to-day things and all this to bring up his daughter, and he's in danger of losing custody of his daughter because of his amnesia and the way in which it affects his life. So he's seeing someone at this hospital who's putting him through some experimental treatment involving a device called the Black Box, which is actually white. And there's something going on there, and it allows him to sort of access memories that he may have lost, that maybe they're hanging in his subconscious somewhere, and he just needs to access them to regain control of his life. Now, you get the impression of what's going on here, where we've got things like, are his memories correct? We got a bit of an unreliable narrator thing. Is his memories what they thought they were? Blah de blah, all of those kind of things there. And there's a lot of stuff on questioning the nature of reality and fucking technology. And during his initial dives into it, there's like some quite interesting sort of like the more actual horror sequences than things that we've seen. Because he's having these visions of people without faces, and this sort of presence that looks like so it's kind of like what appears to be a human doing a bit of a exorcist spider walk, mixed in with a little bit of that sort of juddery fucking kind of shit that is so cool nowadays. They do that with the visual effects, like your Crooked Man and The Conjuring 2, all of them kind of things. Them ones are big there, like, you know. And yeah, obviously as we go into it, things turn out to be not quite what they seem, which is just as well really, because it would be a bit of a shit film if everything was exactly, if it was just a dude having a medical procedure and the shit works. So yeah, okay, now I'd say one of the most noticeable things about this is basically we're dealing with essentially a Black Mirror kind of a thing. Because obviously, you know, nature, reality, technology, experimental procedures, all this. It's very Black Mirror, which so you know, a Black Mirror is sort of an updated Twilight Zone, which is where we get the key problem with this. Because although, like, a lot of it is solid enough, those kind of stories, the kind of stories that we're used to hearing in an hour, and fucking like, I feel that this, it's an hour and 40 minutes, so, you know, it's not long for a film, but I feel it's a bit too long for this type of story. You know, I feel like this could have made a punchier 1 hour anthology fucking thing. But they didn't go that way. It's Blumhouse, innit? Like, they've got their, like, fucking Hulu series that I don't think we've even seen in this country over here. I think Hulu's a subscription service, or maybe I'll have a look into it with my VPN. And that's kind of like, I think it's kind of like their sort of, their GZ, their proving ground. You know, you got to make yourself a little film for what's we call the Into the Dark series, and then maybe you get and if that does well, gets good feedback, maybe they'll give you a bit more money, and you can have a proper cinema release. If cinemas still exist. But, you know, I think Welcome to the Blumhouse, these things, I'm getting the impression they're kind of along those lines. So, fucking, I have questions as to, like, if it wasn't within that structure, would it have actually been made? Because I don't think they'd have made this for a cinema release. And I feel it would have worked better in an hour. Fucking, there's a lot of fat in this. I mean, like, the central performances are very, very good. I like it, and I like a lot of stuff involving neurology and fuck with the mind. I mean, it's something I want to do a video about, because I was in a coma for a month once, and it took me a long time afterwards to separate, like, I was fucking essentially dreaming for a fucking month, and it took me a long time to sort of parse out what was real and what wasn't. I've got genuine memories that did not happen, but they are my memories because I experienced them and all this kind of thing. I've considered doing a video about, like, comparing my experiences with, like, say, Jacob's Ladder, because I don't know, like, fucking a lot of these things that seem quite far-fetched ain't that far-fetched. Fucking, if you're spending a lot of time unconscious in your mind, then fucking shit that isn't there, and fucking near-death experiences, all these kind of things, like, some of them have been, like, portrayed a bit more accurately in cinema than you'd think. So there are elements of that, like, and fucking, you know, like, I latched onto it straight away. The people that latched onto that straight away, like, having people with no faces is in your dreams you can't generate a new face. Every face that you see in your dream is something that you're recalling from memory. So like, what's it called? I had experiences with people in dreams that turned out to be people I'd like passed at some point. All this kind of thing. So, like, the no faces thing is kind of creepy and kind of spooky. But, like, it feels like fairly early on we hit one of the biggest twists in this. And there's other twists to come. But we hit kind of like the biggest revelation a bit too early on in it. And there's too much running after that. I feel like the story could have been, like, the back end could have been condensed a lot more to make it a more punchier story. You know, so this one, some editing could have made this a banging hour of an anthology, but as it is, I'm gonna have to call it 2.5 stars. There's nothing particularly bad about it, but there's just too much of it. It's not a 1 hour and 40-minute story. So yeah, that is Black Box and the Welcome to the Blumhouse series. It is you can stream that on Prime now if you've got a Prime account. I know there's some things you can stream on Prime that even if you don't have an account or a subscription, like a lot of the Amazon original content, you can get at. So you might be able to do that, but I haven't checked that. So I don't know, if you've got the Prime app and you haven't got a subscription, maybe have a look. But yeah, that's Black Box. Be sure to follow us up on the socials. That's Sinister_Cinema on your Insta. That's Sinister.Cinema on your Twitter, Sinister.Cinema on your Insta. Leave a comment down there, subscribe. I'll be doing a lot more videos over fucking October, spooky season and all that. I'm gonna try and keep it a bit more regularly. I think after October I'm gonna aim to have uploads specific days every week rather than just when I can fit it in. I'm gonna have a schedule for this, so it's gonna be tighter, but till then I'm gonna be uploading a lot and it's gonna be all over the place. So hit that bell to get the notifications for that shit. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of Black Box, and yeah, safe. I'm Kinell, this is Sinister Cinema. Safe.